Source Nation, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Dip in Chat World Chair Changers TV with Dhylles Victoria. And I have the beautiful, amazing Gina Humber here with me.
Oh, thank you,
Powerful
thank you.
sister. Thank you, thank you. So before we begin, I wanted to thank our sponsors yet again. We have Zulina Health, Wellness and Fitness, Paper to Film Productions, Meet My Types, Matchmaking, Revolution Mills, and Renovations, and New Covenant of Praise Worship Center. So thank you for our sponsors for Source Nation on Source Network Radio. Of course, with my guest, the beautiful, amazing Gina Humber, who is a motivational speaker. She's an author. She is
I'm
definitely a
sorry, I'm
Renaissance
tired.
woman.
I'm
It's
sorry,
okay.
I'm tired. And when I'm tired, I really act, so good
I love
luck.
it. So Gina, tell everyone who you are, where you from, and what you do.
Okay, so y'all know I'm Gina Humber. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. So I do a lot of things, I'm a creative spirit, so I always feel like there's not one thing, that anybody should be locked in doing. But I'm a children's author of It's All Good, which is phenomenal. And
Yes, it is.
I do a lot of speaking as it pertains to diversity because it's very important for me that people are represented across the board, especially as it pertains to those with disabilities. And, then I've embarked on, because I wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning every night, and I figured, well, what
I know it.
should I do at 2 o'clock in the morning? And so then I started this mantra bracelet kind of thing going on.
Yes,
So,
I actually
I've
have
been
one. I have
doing,
one.
thank you. Yeah. It's like a reminder to, the word says that, we speak life and death over us. And so I thought how important it is to have something as a reminder speaking life. But,
Yes.
In general, and I'm an educator. So that's all I'm doing for right now. That's it.
So,
Which is a
so
lot.
question for you. It is a lot. You do a lot of different things. But my question to you is, what makes you a world changer? How did you become a world changer? Because you know you are, and you can't say that you're not, because you know you are.
Well, I think, in being really blunt, I think it has a lot to do with recognizing who you are and what you bring to the table, and most of all, what you bring out of others, right? So, like, I could have easily been like people who were just kind of, with this do me attitude. And I didn't want to be that kind of person. I wanted to be a person who ignited change in other people. And any person like that, is a very contagious spirit. And so you want to be around someone, believe it or not, that not only makes you feel good, but makes others feel good. It becomes empowering to really empower other people. And it's so important and true, especially with women and women of color and people of color, that we lift ourselves up, and lift up each other. And I think that's when we're at our strongest and our best. So that's what a world changer really is for me. It's someone who changes not just my little world, but my neighborhood and my community and the world around me. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? It's about honoring your spirit and honoring what you bring to the table, and stop all this foolishness of, I'm just doing me. You can't do you in this kind of world. Not if you are a person who is dealing with all the things that we're dealing with, both socially, politically, economically. You kind
Yep.
of, just like when you supported me with the bracelet, you aren't doing you, right? You are saying, I'm going to support and sow into this other person. And when you take
Mm-hmm.
time to sow into somebody, you are becoming a world changer. You know, so that's
Mm-hmm.
why you can speak from this place from which you are, you know. You're speaking from a place from which you are because you sow seeds. You know what that's like. And people sow those seeds back into you, you know?
Exactly. Because to
Yeah.
me, I feel like it's not about competition, it's about community at the end of the day. And even with people who are in my own industry, like I celebrate them and I shout them out because, you know, we're all
Yeah.
genuine in our own way of how we do things. And I can learn from another person. Like I can learn from you with all the stuff that you've done and everything that you've accomplished and, you know, your goals and your aspirations and so on and so forth. So I don't see why we can't pour into each other, why we can't support each other in a specific kind of way to become world changers.
Right. I totally agree. I wish
So
I had
what
better lighting
makes
though. I'm looking at the
you
light.
look fine? Your light is fine. Your hair's rocking, girl. I just like the
You can
fro
see
hawk
my
you got
hair and all
on.
of this. Oh,
Yes.
hey. Okay. I'm sorry. I told you I was tired. I told you I was tired. Okay.
So how are you a world changer in your own right? What is it about Gina Humber that people just gravitate to, that you are able to inspire them in such a way as a world changer? What is it that you bring as a world changer?
Well, I hope what I bring is, I can only hope, right? What I hope that people gravitate to is the reflection of themselves within
Mm-hmm.
me. You know, that, you know, like the beautiful people who connected on tonight, and who said, oh, let me go support Gina, or let me go support, you know, Dhylles, that they're a reflection of me. They're the best part of me. You know, so when I go out and do speaking engagements and people go, oh my God, you spoke so well. No, it 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 touched your heart because the best part of me is in you, and the best part of you is in me.
Mm-hmm.
We're a reflection of one another. You know, that's why, you know, that old saying back in the day, birds of a feather flock together.
Work together.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why when people go, oh, Gina, you're such a beautiful person, or nice, or whatever, I'm just like, listen, I'm a reflection of you. And what
Mm-hmm.
people gravitate to is the better part of themselves. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to sit up here and go, oh, well, I'm just so spectacular, fabulously wonderful. But that's not the case. You know, the case is that, you know, I'm a woman who recognizes and appreciates and loves people of color. I love everybody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People of color, you know, I really like. But and the thing about it too is that I try very much to be very truthful, very authentic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give the bullshit. I don't sit up, you know, even when a lot of times people hired me to speak, you know, I'm sure they were very shocked a lot of times with the things I said, but I'm being as authentic and true to that moment
Mm-hmm.
or to the situation as possible. And I hope that people connect with that. You know,
Yeah.
I hope that people connect with that.
And that's one
I
of the
see.
things that I truly, truly love about you is you're real and you're raw. Because you are who you are unapologetically, with no excuses, with no explanations, nothing. And that's one thing that really gravitated me to you, because I'm like, here's a woman that like stands in her power, and you know, she don't give a fuck. And I love that, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, all you can do is be who you are. And I think that
Yeah.
you solidify that for so many women that have so much to say, but they don't know how to get it across. They don't know how to express themselves. And you bring it every time. And you give those women hope to just say, okay, well, you know what? She's speaking truth. I feel like I need to get up and do the same thing too. And that's what you represent to me. That's the type of person you represent to me.
Oh, oh, you're so sweet. You're so
But
sweet.
it's the truth. Like you've always been 100 from day one since we've met, and you've always just been consistent, and you just grown and become stronger and stronger every time with just writing the books and speaking and everything that you're doing. And you've
Cool.
always told me I'm a Renaissance woman. I'm like, what's she talking about? She's one too, because now you're doing these little beautiful, powerful
Oh, yeah,
house
yeah,
bracelets. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just amazing.
yeah.
And I wear it all the time.
Oh, Thank you. They've been really selling really well. I've been really happy
Yes,
about it. Yeah,
you should
yeah.
be.
It gives me something to do at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm happy about it.
So
You know,
how did you come up with the concept of diversity is a verb and the concept of the children's book that you wrote? Like, what was that process like for you? Was it a 3 o'clock in the morning thing?
no, what it really was actually, it was an emotional thing. So I am a special education teacher. And so a lot of my students either have a physical disability
Mm-hmm.
or a disability that incapacitates them where they can't come to school, that kind of thing. It deals with, those kind of deep disabilities. And, but I got tired of reading books to them where they didn't see themselves represented.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the biggest things about literacy or your connection to it is your ability to connect with the character. So you can't connect with the character when you don't see yourself.
Yep.
So that became one of the focuses for me to do diversity as a verb, because I realized it was an action. And then the second most powerful thing that happened is my fourth child looks more like her father, and her father's dark complexion. And she had a hard time with me, Dhylles. Like she didn't know what I was. She didn't consider me black. At the
Oh,
time, I
wow.
had really long hair, and I straightened it, but I had long hair. And she was like, "Your hair," like nothing about her did she see. She didn't see her in me, right? So
Right.
what I did was I shaved off my hair. This had to be about 15 years ago. So like one day I'll show you, like I had pictures with my hair down to my ribs. And then for her, I shaved off my hair and grew it naturally ever since. It's not still as curly as hers, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted her to realize that, you know, we are the same. You know what I'm saying? And so I saw a lot of books as a mother and a teacher that dealt with hair, but I didn't see books that dealt with melanin.
Yeah.
So the children's book and diversity as a verb came about from my own children and my own job as an educator, and how I wanted that to kind of go forth and to inspire other kids. Because I know that for my daughter, but it doesn't just happen in Black homes. That happens in Latino homes, Portuguese, Brazilian, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a strong color difference, the child can easily say, well, who am I and what am I? And I don't think I'm pretty. I want to look like you. And there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't books to address that. So that's what formed the book, and then that's what formed the company, Diversity is a Verb. And I got to see that people use the word diversity a lot, but there's no action behind it. So that's how the book really birthed the company. And then the company went around, I went around to different organizations and spoke to them about what real diversity looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, I've had that challenge myself because it was for me, my father's lady. So for me, it was like, okay, what's a Haitian person supposed to look like? So I got that too.
Right.
So we
Right,
understand where
right,
you're
right.
coming from.
No,
It's just
yeah,
one of the.
yeah. And I could, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was saying, and that's why I feel like when you wrote the book, it's all good. I feel like it actually touched a lot of different topics and things like that about culture and complexion and disability and everything that goes on, especially with kids these days, because I feel like kids are now more open and aware to just accepting people just the
Right,
way they are. But way back when we were so
right,
conditioned to
right,
just
right.
see a certain person a certain way, like, oh no, I don't want to talk to that person because he's dark skinned or she's too light skinned and all the other kind of stuff. So I totally get it.
Right, right. And And the days of the cat in the hat are kind of over. You know, like we need to have
Mm-hmm.
books that address what these kids are dealing with. So the characters were Latino, Asian, one with a disability, and one, of course, was African American. And each one had their own story,
Right.
but it's what I see in the classroom. So it's relatable, and it opens up for discussion between the parent and the child, or the teacher and the student.
Yeah, I thought that was it was done brilliantly and excellent, and I feel like it would actually touch so many different people in so many different ways. Not only children, but when adults read it, when they're reading it to their kids, it gives them a sense of like, wow, like I've been conditioned to look a certain kind of way, or I've been conditioned to see another person a certain kind of way and judge them based on their appearance as opposed to get to know who they are. So I think that, you writing that was actually really brilliant because you're opening up so much
Thank you.
more doors to people to like where keeping it where diversity is and how to like just not just say, okay, well, it's diversity, but also take action to making sure that we as human beings continue to work in that direction, in a positive direction.
Right, right. They say that a good children's book teaches the child, but a great children's book teaches the parent and the child. And so I
Yep.
think It's So Good is a great children's book just for that, to be able to. And then, of course, the book is also about self acceptance. And so, you and
Mm-hmm.
I both know how self esteem or low self esteem can affect a child. You can be an adult and still deal with those child issues of self esteem. And so
Exactly.
I made
Mm-hmm.
sure to bring a psychologist for some of the book parts to make sure that we address those things within kids. So it's really set up to have that discussion back and forth between the adult and the child. So I'm glad about it.
Brilliant, brilliant. If you're tuning in, guys, if you're tuning in, Source Nation, this is Dill Victoria, Sip and Chat, World Changers TV. Here with Gina Humber. She is author, writer, woman. Now, of these beauties, I have one that says Survivor. She has so many other ones. And every time she posts one up, I'm like, oh, I want that one too. Oh, I want that one too. So it's constant. So when it comes to these bad boys here, where'd you get the concept for this? Because I'm like in love with this one. I wear this all the time. I don't take it off.
Oh, well, I love leather bracelets. I'm going to be totally honest with you because my friend she's going to lose her mind when I say this, but I'm going to say it. I love leather bracelets, right? And I would go and buy them and they'd be like 50, 60, $70. Not that there's anything wrong in 50, 60, $70. But, and I always lose joy. Like I can go on a trip and I'm like, oh my God. And all I could think about is, hey, $70 for that, leather jewelry or whatever I bought. And so I wanted something that was affordable, and I wanted something that was soft leather, and I wanted something that people, if they bought the brown leather or the black, wide or thin, that they can interchange the charms,
Right.
and it really was about me and my, even though, my girlfriend is like, don't say that. You don't want people to know that. Let them buy 400 black ones if they want it. But I have to be, I have to be true to me. Like, I like it because I can take off, because you have it. You can take off the charm, and if you go, oh, Gina, I like that other charm, then you contact me about the charm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
penny pinch people and make them buy another bracelet if they didn't want it and they just want the charm and they want to keep their regular bracelet. And that's why I liked it. I like it because I thought of something that I thought I'd want, which is affordable. I thought of something
Yeah.
I want, which is, at this day and age, I want to be able to take off the charm and put a new one on. I don't want to buy a new freaking bracelet. I just want to interchange. And if, of
I
course,
just want a charm.
I'm cheap. No, that's thrifty. Cancers are thrifty. So as a
Yeah, you guys are
Cancerian,
thrifty. I totally agree with you.
yes, yes, we're thrifty.
So with
So
this
I
one,
can't help
because
but be
this one here,
right.
I
You
love it because
can unhook the
it's the
charm.
one that, and I
Oh yeah,
didn't realize that you
survivor.
were able to like change out the charms. I didn't realize that until you just told me, and I
I
think that's freaking
know.
amazing because go ahead, girl. I think I'm gonna get
I
another one like this, but I
I
want to
mean,
get it for my lady because
I,
she's such a survivor and a lot of things she's been through, and I feel like this might work for her because she
yeah,
loves leather bracelets as well. So I'll be
yeah,
ordering again from
yeah,
you because
yeah.
I need to
That's
get one for my boo.
oh thank oh thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you and your boo. Y'all look cute together. Y'all okay? Is this the boo you're talking about? Oh no. Okay.
Yep, this the boo I'm talking about.
All right. So look at the time. No, but
Anywho,
anyway,
but thank you.
yeah, that's why I really liked it. Anywho,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
no,
why I
it's
really
good.
liked
It's
it
good.
because
I actually,
I can do that.
yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea that you can actually change them around. That's just amazing. I didn't know. I was just gonna
Yeah.
just order the whole thing all over again.
I mean, but what I would say to people is I have I, like I did it for myself. I have it so that I got a brown one and I got a black
Hmm.
one, right?
Hmm.
And then I just have the different charms. But I also noticed people would say, oh, I want the wide black one or I want the thin black one. So in those cases, you'd have to buy, they'd buy the extra bracelet. But
Yeah.
I like wide bracelets, so for me it works. And it reminds me of back in the day. You might be a little bit too young for this, but today there was this sneaker and you could take off the color. I forgot what the sneaker was, but you could take off the color of a little velcro thing and then put another color on, like so
Hmm.
you have like
I know
five
what you're
different
talking about. I
colors
used to be a break
of
dancer and I had them type of sneakers when when I was a break dancer. So I know I'm not that old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, back in the day. I can't remember the name of it, but I know they did that. So that's what it's about. It's about I'm not trying to, like I make good money. It's really about I really want people to take this mantra and to feel it. Like you have Survivor, so something about it touched you. And then I have
Yes.
others, that say, blessed beyond measure and just different
Queen
mantras to
bee.
inspire us because I feel like, we're at the age where we need to be inspired. This is the time. This is
Yes.
the time.
Yes. I agree. I love the one that says Queen Bee too. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, hey,
Oh
Queen
yeah, that's
Bee.
so cute, isn't it? You know what happened? I
Yes.
actually sold out of that so quick. I think it was all the Beyonce, the Beehive people,
Yep. Yep.
the Beehive ladies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't even have any more of that. But I always tell people I don't want to, and I think I told you I don't want to do like a whole lot. I just want to
Hmm.
do a few of them,
Hmm.
and make it so that I want to make it special. I don't want to do some huge mass thing about it. So I just want to make it special.
Cool. I love it.
I like your
But thank you for taking the
glasses.
time to talk to me. Thank you. I'm trying to get a
Thank
blue
you.
one too.
It's adorable.
Because they're from Zenny and I love
Thank you. I
Zenny.
really
And I was
appreciate
just like, I need a
it.
blue one. Yeah, no, definitely. I love the fact that you pretty much came up with such a concept of, such a bracelet and what it stands for and everything. And like I said, I'll rock it all day. Like I go everywhere with it. And everyone's like, where'd you get it? I'm like, oh, my friend Gina Humber, she made them, girl. They're so cute. I know. So, yeah.
Well,
But
thank you so
anyhow,
much for having me
of,
on. Appreciate it.
Of course. Well, let everybody know where they could find you at, and if they want like a nice little bracelet or whatever, or even to order the book from you for their kids or whatever, like where can they find you?
Okay, cool. So for the book and for speaking engagements, GinaHumber.com. So easy, right? And then Facebook, Gina Humber. And then Instagram, Gina Humber. And if you like to travel, it's One Girl, One Globe.
Yes,
Nice and simple.
definitely. Gina is like the go-to travelnista, travelpreneur, travel guru. Like, she finds these amazing deals, and then she goes on Facebook Live and talks about them and has me cracking up and laughing my butt off, because she just be like, let me explain something to you. I was at the airport and my bag touched this man's bag.
Oh my God. I tell you, that's why I'm not on the Travel Channel.
She said that's why she's not on the Travel Channel. We actually gonna create like a petition for you to just be on a Travel Channel, and it's gonna be Real Raw Traveling with Gina or something like that, because people need the real raw. That's what we're gonna do.
That would be good. That would be good.
It would
and
be.
I'm headed to Dubai soon. And
I know.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Good. Well, put me in your
Thank
suitcase
you.
and just poke some holes in it so I can breathe a little bit, and then we be good.
Okay, as long as you don't mind if I might have to swing you into somebody, we good.
I could take it. I weigh 198 pounds. I'm good. We could swing into. It's all right.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
All right, hon. Well,
right.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And we'll talk soon. Take care, honey.
Okay, good.
Thanks for tuning in, Source Nation. I truly, 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 truly appreciate it. I know that we had a couple of like hangups and technological difficulties. Of course, it happens with these things. Where do I find the leather bracelet? Okay, Tanya, you would have to go to facebook.com/Gina Humber on her Facebook page and inbox her there to get the bracelet. I can actually put you in contact with her because that's my homegirl. So I can have that going on. So thank you so much for tuning in to Sip and Chat World Changers TV on Source Radio Network. Follow me at Gina Humber on Facebook. And you can inbox for the break. It's absolutely amazing. I didn't realize it was interchangeable. That's just brilliant. And so, yeah. So let me go ahead and thank our sponsors once again, because it wasn't for them. Show them. Selena Health, Wellness, and Fitness. Paper to Film Production, Types Matchmaking, Revolution Mail, Innovations, and New Covenant Praise Worship Center. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate it. I am so, so, so sorry. Sincerely apologize for the technical difficulty earlier with Martine, as well as a little bit here with Gina. The second Friday that I'm doing the show on Facebook, Sip and Chat World Changers TV on the page, and it'll just get better. Of course, we have little technical difficulties here and there, but of course the show must go on. You can see a few. I have a Mother's Day and graduation mantra coming up this Saturday. So you're sure to love. Okay, cool, wonderful, Gina, wonderful. So I'll make sure that I share it out, and like I said, I'm actually gonna order one for my beloved Sabrina, because I think that she would rock it out nicely for you too. So guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in, Source Nation family, Source Nation. Again, Dhylles Victoria here, Sip and Chat World Changers TV. Thank you, Gina. Thank you to Martine as well for sharing your knowledge on fibroids and the questions to ask doctors and things of that nature. It's really, really important, ladies. Make sure that you go and get checked up for fibroids. They're no joke, because I've had them and I had surgery for them before, so I can totally relate to what Martine was saying earlier, and I can totally relate to what Gina was saying about just diversity, and just not saying the word diversity, but but executing it, taking action for us to have real change. And so I thank both these amazing real changers. I'm definitely going to have them back on the show again, coming soon, along with other amazing, powerful women. And yeah, so thank you, Source Nation. Thank you for tuning into Sip and Chat World Changes TV right here on Source Radio Network. Thank you again for the amazing platform. I am humbled and honored and excited about so much more to come. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. If you are traveling, safe travels. If you're home, I'm so happy that you're home safe and sound. As for me, I'm in Atlanta. I'm about to go and host a speaking event. Not a speaking event. I'm going to be hosting a small business, Black Business Expo tomorrow here in Atlanta. So be sure I'll definitely do a Facebook Live so you guys can see everything that's taking place tomorrow. And so, yeah, looking forward to it. So I got to get my makeup on because I'm going just do some networking myself. And I'll talk to you guys later.
As a New York City teacher, this is what I deal with. I teach middle school, and I deal with my students in different issues that you as parents may not be privy to. Such as I deal with issues such as race in the classroom. I deal with issues such as self-esteem. For example, oh, Miss H, we're going on a trip. Yeah, we're going on a trip. I don't want to get too black. I don't want to be out in the sun too long. And I've got to deal with that as a teacher. I can't ignore that. And there was a time when I taught, and I also had conversations with my students who would say things and make fun of other people's ethnic characteristics. You make that a teaching moment if you're a good teacher. You don't overpass it. Other things came up, such as weight, sexuality, so many discussions that you as parents don't realize that a good teacher honestly has to stop the classroom to discuss. And I did so. And there were so many times I looked for a book to implement, to help out in these conversations, and there weren't any. We speak of diversity, but we don't really speak of diversity. Diversity includes those with special needs. Diversity includes those, when I look at a children's book, yes, I'm interested in definite natural hair, as you can see, but I want a discussion on melanin. I want a discussion on why this young girl or this young man should see himself as beautiful. I want a discussion on ethnic characteristics as a teacher. And I want a discussion on being overweight and what that means in the classroom and how we should have cultural sensitivities to deal with those issues. But there weren't any. So my husband will tell you I'm the type of woman that if it's not out there, I'm going to make it happen. And I did. And the beautiful thing about it is that though I didn't get published at a big publishing house, I was told by publishers that there's no need to see Muslim girls. And there's no need, this is all, of course, before everything started happening just a few months ago. There was no need to see Muslim girls. There was no need to discuss melon. So we self-published. And we did so and opened up a business called Diversity is a Verb. We now have a huge following. We have, in the self-published world, something that's unseen, which is we've sold over 1,000 books in less than 3 months. Thank you. And we've done that because there's a need. We've been able to tap in. And I, as a special ed teacher, wanted my other students to know who had special needs. Your images and perceptions are important, because if they weren't, I didn't tell you that I majored in African American history, did I? So hold on. If they weren't important, they wouldn't be erasing it from our books. If they weren't important, they wouldn't be taking your rights away every chance that they can, because they realize our importance of our history, our perception, our images are extremely important. It's why we fight to be seen on magazines and commercials, because we understand the need of seeing who we look like. So when the children's book came out, it was nice. And we moved to a business, like I said, Diversity is a Verb. And my husband and I decided that for the contributions of New York City schools, which have bought our book, we've had maybe 5 or 6 schools purchase it in the thousands of copies, so that's been wonderful. But we give back. We donate 10% to the Talent Foundation, and that's a foundation that gives to inner city youth kids. And they help support them with after school programs. Because I didn't want to just be an author, I wanted to be an activist. And through activism comes literacy. So that's why this event is so important, not just for me as a teacher, but for me as a parent, for me as an activist, to see you here and supporting literacy programs, because it means that you know the importance of it. And when you can take that back to your own household and rear your children up and tell them the importance of literacy, read them books, have them read to you, discuss it, it makes us very happy. We also support a sickle cell foundation with our money. Why? Because some of you will know that sickle cell is indigenous to people of color. So we make sure that our money goes out into different programs around. And right now, we happen to be dealing with, is it the Ohio State School?
Yes.
The Ohio State School that decided to say something about President Obama, but still keep 2 baseball players on. So we're tackling that. So the beautiful thing about it is that we decided as the corporation grew, and we had shirts and we had bags, that we wanted to also teach parents how to do and maneuver the school system. See, because you also don't know the ins and outs, and I did. So when I started speaking to parents, I started to let them know my son was classified. They like to classify him. He's 20 now, so. But when he was younger, they classified him as ADHD. Now it was funny because as a kid, we were all ADHD. We all And I never like to let them know I'm a special education teacher. And he went to a private school, and they decided to sit me down and discuss why my son was running amok and why he couldn't sit down. In the meantime, other children who weren't as melanated as my son were running around the school as well, but mine was classified as ADHD. And some of you will know that special ed has been encompassed with young black men. So after I listened to the woman and I was respectful, I did go over my resume in a very small way. And after I went over my resume, I went and spoke to my doctor, his pediatrician, and got a 501 form. So this way you don't have to classify him as special ed, but guess what? You want to give him all the services he needs since you said that. So now what I do also is I educate parents on how to maneuver the system, not just as a special ed person, but as a person or a special needs teacher, but as a person who says, listen, this is a system that's been set up. It's been set up in terms of their zoning. It's been set up in terms of what they teach. Black History Month, of course, was in February. I had to fight to even discuss Malcolm X. But you as parents have way more power than I do. It's for you to say, I don't see anything happening here for Black History Month. What are we doing as a school? See, because I can go to my child's school and say that, and they already know me. So they're going to come up with events. And we're not going to just talk about Martin Luther King. We're not only just going to talk about Rosa Parks. I want to hear a little Nat Turner. I want to hear other people. I want to hear about Harriet Tubman. And I want my children to know about them. It's so important as people of color that we begin to teach our children, that we begin to teach them the importance and the beauty of them. We have always been a people and a race of people of strength. We have always been a race of people of intelligence. And I see that every day in my classroom. And that book perpetuates that.